Yeah, I think we've started recording.
Okay.
Also, what? Okay, Right Stuff.
Yeah.
Is an anime thing.
Yes.
Why have they got British babes go wild?
Because
what?
it sells.
It's just normal ass porn, the
On Right
Extreme
Stuff.
UK tour, and I'm like, what?
Well,
That's
looks
not
like we know
anime.
what you're getting in the next hour or so.
Why buy it when you can get it for free online?
Jesus wanted this for everybody.
That's an interesting way to start a discussion. Do you wanna do an intro, Mr. Tristan?
Nah, we don't need anything as serious as an intro. We're just kind of chilling and chatting. Like, hi, I'm Ark. That's Alan, and Suin's there as well under a blanket. Say hi, everyone.
Hello, I am the Alan, and we don't even have a name for whatever this is yet.
This is
Whatever it is we're doing.
talking to Suin under a blanket. That's what we're gonna
This
call
is
it.
the official Pornado review podcast.
Yes, Pornado.
Wait, do you have like a Right Stuff affiliate or something?
To a point, yes. I do have a Red Stuff affiliate. But...
Oh god, you should have asked them to give you a copy of like Pornado 2. And then you could have done like the stereotypical story characters animation soundtrack.
Well, the animation in Pornado 2 is actually quite superb.
We were discussing this at some point before as to why are there no like anime YouTubers who have accounts on Pornhub where they do like proper professionally edited and presented reviews of hentai, where you can actually just show everything and still get it monetized.
Like for this review specifically, you can just wear one of those beige trench coats instead.
No, you need to wear a dressing gown.
Yeah,
and you need to sit by an open fire, and you just be like, "Hello, and welcome to."
Sit by a fire and have like a pipe and a small tumbler glass with like whiskey or something. It needs to be like very nice
juice.
and refined while we talk about porn. That's what we have to do. That would be the look I'd go for.
And welcome to a Glass Reflections sexy special.
Totally normal.
Welcome to Ass Reflections. We're talking about Pornado 2.
Yeah, shout out to the Ass Reflections Twitter
Yeah,
account.
shout out to Ass Reflections, who's been silent for far too long. It's depressing.
Yeah, they need to up their game. That was thorough entertainment every time I saw them.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we should get back on track.
Did we have a track?
I don't think we did have a track.
Our track was porn,
Well,
and I think we're on that pretty well right now.
Is there some kind of topic that we had in mind for anything?
well, we could go back from this multi-track drifting thing that we were on.
Awkward silence.
But yeah, this is I don't know when you guys are gonna hear this, but yeah, it's like 8:30 in the morning right now.
Hey, so Suin's had a nap for an hour.
8:30 in the morning for me and Suin. It's the middle afternoon for Alan.
Yeah, it's pretty good for me.
Suin's under a blanket.
I had to peel myself out of bed at 11.
I'm tired with my first cup of coffee, having just finally fucking caught up on My Hero Academia since I couldn't watch fuck all yesterday. And
so yeah, if we say some pretty awful shit, here's our excuse.
You have been warned. This is a mature audio recording for mature audiences.
I don't know,
because we say fuck a lot.
I feel like the only thing that I want to be talking about is Boruto right now.
Alan, this is a ninja pod.
You know, I've been thinking about watching that, and I actually wonder how...
Oh, please.
I wonder how many people would actually get so pissed at me because they're just like, dude, you've watched no Naruto. You don't deserve to watch Boruto. It's not for you. It's for us. And I'm like, yeah, but what if like somebody wants to get into Naruto having not watched anime before? Are you actually going to tell them to watch all of the original and Shippuden? And they'll be like, yes, they must suffer like we have suffered.
Let's be real here. Nobody who started watching Boruto has actually finished watching Shippuden. Let's be real.
Well, there are a few people.
You don't.
This includes all the fillers.
You don't just watch all of Shippuden. You don't do that.
You just watch bits and pieces.
We say we may have done, but
you just lied. No, I'm actually legitimately thinking about watching Boruto because I've only seen like scattered episodes from the original and from Shippuden. I really haven't watched all that much, and I think I've only actually sat down and watched maybe 5 or 6 episodes from beginning to end, and then a shit ton of random scenes and crap. Like I follow a couple of
Bits
Sakuga
and
blogs
pieces.
and so forth, and every once in a while there's some really awesome Naruto fights that get shown up there. So I've seen those, but
and
I don't know the
usually
context
they're
behind
from
them
the
at all.
fucking fillers.
Yeah.
Because like all the best animated Naruto fights are from random fillers, and it's like, why?
Which is hilarious when people try to go through them and they're just like, I'm just going to skip all the fillers, and then you'll miss all that.
Nah, man, you can't skip the fillers, because then you'll skip young Sasuke and Naruto having to go and get paw prints of cats.
And them accidentally kissing each other in front of a waterfall.
Because that's riveting grade A anime entertainment right there, Alan.
Pretty much. Yeah, I mean, I think for you maybe wanting to start watching Boruto now without any prior history, I don't know if you're going to get anything out of it, because I fucking love Boruto, and I'm just watching it going like, man, this, because it basically just reminds me of like me watching Naruto when I first started watching Naruto when I was a kid.
No, I remember your tweet when you watched like the first episode. You're like, I'm glad that I have this reminder of why I've started watching anime every week.
Yeah, because that's basically what it is. Like, and it's I don't know if people who don't have any sort of, I guess, fundamental personal attachment to the franchise at large are going to really get anything out of starting watching it now. But you can give it a go. It's very fun. It's very enjoyable.
Well, I'd like to think that there should be something to it, because I'd still like to hope that the creators of the show are just like, okay, eventually we're going to have people watching our stuff that never watched the old shit. So this is kind of a perfect place to get new people into the franchise, perhaps.
They definitely sort of present it in a way that, I mean, everyone has some sort of underlying knowledge of what happens in Naruto, and I think they sort of present it in a way of like, here's a new story. You don't need to have known the full ins and outs of what happened before.
You just need to know the general gist of what happened.
They don't do the... Actually, no, they do. In episode 2, they do this thing where they explain what chakra is. And I was like... It's like when you watch a fucking sports anime and it's like, what? What? Why did he get 15 points from that one thing? Well, Joey...
let me tell you.
In tennis, you go from 15 to 30. And on 0, it's called love. Wow. And that happens for the first, 5 episodes.
So, well, maybe what it could be is, the first couple of episodes, they just go back and they're just like, okay, for all the new people, here's some of the basic terminologies and shit. Should you not have seen it? And then once they get past that introduction, then they can kind of, really get into it. Maybe it's sort of like how they structured the first number of episodes of, FMA Brotherhood, where it's just like, yeah, we're going to go through all this shit. We know you've seen it, but we're going to have to go through it anyway.
Yeah.
And then it finally got really, really good later on.
I don't actually know what they're doing with Boruto, because the Boruto manga is just the Boruto film.
It's the movie recap, yeah.
It's just the movie, plus there's this bit at the beginning that's a foreshadowing bit to Boruto as a really edgy teenager with a scar on his face.
So the entire show right now is not based off of an existing manga.
No.
They're just kind of making it up as they go.
Well, the weird thing is...
I think they're sort of being produced simultaneously, because... But there's nothing, to my knowledge, in the anime right now that has been in manga, because I read the manga up to the end of where the film happens, and I don't know how long it's carrying on
So
for.
Does that mean that technically the entire show is just filler?
Yes.
By the laws of it's not based off of a manga?
It is. Plus, Boruto
it's original.
isn't written by the original mangaka either. So it kind of... Yeah, it feels fresh.
So he was technically correct when he decided to stop writing Naruto. It's just other people didn't decide to stop writing Naruto.
So basically we're watching fan fiction.
God, it does feel a bit like that.
No,
in a very good way.
There was that pause, and then I was like, oh
no.
Oh, God.
Oh, no.
God. Oh, God. What's the author's name? Snow Queen,
What?
Ice Princess. That's a
Okay.
50 Shades of Grey reference. That was the pen name she went under.
Very tasty.
It could be worse. It could have been written by XX Midnight Essence XX.
I think with Boruto is or at least one thing I hope that it doesn't happen is that it turns the characters pretty much into their parents. So let's say with Shikamaru's kid,
Yeah.
Alan,
Well,
it's pretty much a carbon copy.
having not seen the show, so this is based off almost nothing, but just a very brief hypothesis. I would assume that some of the characters won't be exact carbon copies of either their parents or just another character to fill a role, but there might be some characters that are combinations of multiple characters. So
Yeah.
instead of being an exact copy of one, you're kind of this weird amalgamation of
combinations-
two. I would assume that they still have like the same kind of Naruto formula that they want to stick to. But in order to do that with different characters, you have to just get characters to fill the same sort of roles, even if they have different personalities and quirks.
Mm. The whole thing with combinations, though, it's quite amusing because, like, literally the characters are combinations of other characters. Because basically every mildly interesting character, basically they all gat-eyed and had babies that are like literally
combinations of two characters.
One visual part of this character, one visual part of this character into this new character that just looks like both of them.
Mm-hmm. But at the same time, like you'll need other characters to fill roles, because I don't think like Boruto can both fill the role of Naruto and a love interest at the same time, unless he is his own love interest, which would be hilarious in some cases.
Wow, we have the first asexual.
I mean, at the very least, but Boruto, like Act 1 Boruto is a lot more bearable than Act 1 Naruto was.
Yeah.
I think they've sort of skipped that part of him being like detestable, annoying.
Well, I think it's the voice is a lot less.
Well, it's
grating.
also been like, how old is Act 1 Naruto? Act 1 Naruto is like 15 years, 20. How long was that?
No. Like, no, they're around the same age, but or at least one of the differences for me is that Boruto is sounds a lot less grating from my end. Like Naruto sounds a lot more shrill.
Believe it.
No, because like the original show, when did it come out? Like early 2000s? The original Naruto?
Yeah, like 2002 or something. 2002.
Because I know Shippuden started in 07. So if that started in 07, like 10 years ago, fuck.
Oh god, I'm so old.
The original series must have been at least probably 4 or 5 years before that.
Yeah.
Vietnam just flashed before my eyes.
Well, I think the main reason why Boruto, from like maybe an actual story perspective, why Boruto is a bit less annoying is because, I mean, Boruto's had a pretty good childhood. Like, his dad's the president, so whereas like Naruto's dad was not alive.
His dad is Donald Trump.
Naruto has become
Boruto's
Donald
Barry.
Trump.
Like Naruto's father figure was the fucking ramen guy.
Oh yeah, but what do you call him? Oh yeah, fun fact, Alan. Boruto is same voice as Renton from Eureka 7.
What, Johnny
Like
Young Bosch?
same Japanese
Yes.
voice?
Yes.
Wait, no, they can't have dubbed it already. Have they?
No, we're kidding.
Okay.
No, the Japanese
Okay,
voice.
Japanese voice. That makes more sense.
That's fitting. That's fitting. Wait, is Salad voiced by Eureka's voice actress?
I don't think so.
Yes, and Tristan is a character called Salad, by the way.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I really need to watch Eureka 7. I still have it sitting on my shelf. I've had it for like 3 years now. I just haven't sat down and watched
you've never watched Eureka 7?
No, I've owned it for 3 years. I haven't watched it yet.
What?
Welcome to my life.
That's just a thing I would have assumed you would have watched at some point.
And you know, I probably would have. I'm legitimately surprised I haven't, but there are things on my shelf that I look at and I'm like, why the fuck haven't I watched that? So I have that. I have all of Arise.
Like
But I
Pornado
haven't
too.
fucking sat down and watched Arise yet, but I have it.
It's just like it's one of those shows from that era that was just like the era that you were born from.
It's just like something I would have been totally on board with. Yeah, I know.
Like the era when like YouTube was basically just you. and it was that, and it was like FMA and things like that.
Yeah.
That were just like the sort of in things that everyone liked.
As well.
Yeah. And for whatever reason, Eureka 7 was not something I watched. And then like I picked up the series on DVD because I was looking for it for the long ass time, and then it got re-released, so that's when I bought it. And then that was like 3 or 4 years ago, and it's just kind of been sitting on my shelf ever since.
Has it got a Western Blu-ray release yet? Because I know.
Yeah, it does. It does.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Because Funimation licensed it and they released it
So
on
I
Blu-ray.
think Anime Limited picked it up over here recently.
Plus, with the new ones coming out, like it wouldn't surprise me. I know AO had a Blu-ray. I'm not sure if the original did.
AO is
something different. Sorry.
well, that's something we can talk about though. On the topic of this, is the fucking it got that new sort of weird sequel / remake / we're not sure yet thing.
Oh, those
announced.
films that are coming out. Yeah.
Okay, wait. So one of the movies is going to be 10 years before the Eureka 7 events.
Okay.
Right.
So one movie is
Is
a
it?
prequel.
Yeah, one movie is one is the sequel. I
So
think?
it's
Oh,
not
yeah.
just like
Don't
a
quote me on that.
Madoka thing where they're going to do like two recap films and a.
So it's like a prequel, a recap, and a sequel. Is that what they're doing, or? One of them has to be a recap.
Would try and fit all 50 episodes in one film.
Like, isn't it hilarious that it's always Eureka 7 that gets all this kind of attention, even though it didn't do... It wasn't, like, necessarily a smash hit in Japan, from what I remember.
I think it's just one of those things that, like, the people that do like it really fucking like it.
Yeah.
So it's got a very dedicated core fan base. And, I mean...
And it's Bones, and they like to actually give a decent amount of work to a lot of the shit that they have, so...
My sort of problem with it is, like, I mean, it was, like, it has basically been my favourite show ever since I first watched it, but, like, it's one of those shows that's just got a perfect ending and doesn't need anything else. Like, you've got 50 episodes of...
So are you talking about, like, the movie ending? Wasn't the movie different, or was the movie a recap? The original movie, not the new ones.
No, the movie's a remake.
Yeah, so...
Movie's kind of like a reimagining of some events.
I'm talking purely of the series itself.
Okay.
And yeah, it didn't need a sequel. It ended pretty much perfectly. There was really nothing left to be said. They then released this weird sort of remake, alternate reality film that sort of plays things differently and has characters acting very differently to how they actually acted in the series, which was strange. And it sort of recut some of the animation with like new
shit, yeah.
With new shit, like sort of just altering stuff. And basically making a new story out of the same things and adding some other stuff to it. And it wasn't great, but because it was an alternate reality, I wasn't like, okay, it's fucked things up. And I was able to still get some sort of like nostalgic pleasure out of the fact that I was watching it.
AO, on the other hand.
I've heard nothing but bad things about AO.
The biggest problem with AO, aside from the fact that it's shit, is... is that
it exists,
which is a pretty big problem, to be fair.
It fucks with time travel and alternate dimensions in a way that that made this alternate reality film canon to the original series.
What?
The best part is that at the ending, it seemed like the staff kind of realized their mistakes. So pretty much their finale was, okay, we know what we did wrong, so we'll try our best to rectify it. So the conclusion was pretty much Renton's kid, wipes his existence, quote unquote. So it's almost as if he never existed. So pretty much the entire conclusion is kind of pointless ultimately.
It's fucking weird, and like
so its entire existence is pointless, and I'll just skip it and just watch the original series.
Yeah,
Got it.
There was this like plot device gun, and it was like every time he shoots this gun, reality changes. It's literally a gun that like shoots through space, and it's just like, what is this?
Space gun.
I'd forgotten about this.
And there were like the secrets and Truth, I think that was one of
fucking
the characters.
Truth.
Fucking retarded character design.
But I mean, in terms of these new films that are coming out, I'm basically not going to expect anything, and at this point, I'm so firmly attached to the original that nothing's going to ruin that for me, and I'm just and it's cool that I think because Anime Limited are great around here, they're like going to do a limited cinema release when they come out, so I'll get to see them in the theater, and that'll be cool.
Well, most if not all of the original staff are coming back, so that's a plus, I guess.
Yeah.
So we'll see, but between
whoa,
that was some
beatboxing.
Thought I'd throw that out there.
Remember what you said earlier, Alan.
What I said earlier about beatboxing. That the hardest thing about becoming a beatboxer is having to come to terms with the fact that your parents don't love you. But anyway, before I started dropping some bees,
Anime's mistake.
Yeah, between now and when that comes out, I would like to trust that you will watch the original.
I will do so. Speaking of films, though, I'm curious about something, Alan, because I'm pretty sure I saw that Suin has already watched this. But did you have a showing of Your Name in around where you were?
Yes, I
did.
I went and watched it in the cinema, and I also had a really fucking amazing Chinese buffet beforehand. So that was a very good evening. Because you know how usually when you go to a buffet for Chinese food, they'll focus on the noodles and the rice, so that you eat all the filling stuff and leave the meat. The chow mein and the egg fried rice was shit, but they had like all the really good meat, and so I just ate meat for like 2 hours, and it was great. So I just wanted to say that,
out of context, it does sound pretty dirty though. But all right,
all the meat.
He just likes all the meat, none of the noodles. Screw those limp noodles. I just want the nice solid meat.
Mate, I also watched Your Name that evening, but I can't say I enjoyed Your Name more than the meat because the meat was really good.
But what did you think of the film?
I did very much enjoy it.
Mhm.
I think the small issues I have with it are sort of based on how it affects, I guess, my personal experiences. And the other thing I found is that there were a lot of like really good side characters that felt like they needed more time to be able to justify how they were acting, if that makes sense.
And they just never got it.
Like they were quite deep fleshed out characters that just sort of needed a bit more for them
Yeah,
to.
part of me kind of wishes that it was like a short 6-episode OVA or something rather than a film, as far as the story anyway.
Wasn't it like wasn't it like 2 hours, so it would have been about the same length anyway?
Well, that's how Shinkai functions best anyway.
I will say though, I think it's my favorite Shinkai film because I actually there's like in a lot of Shinkai's films there's like this level of pretentiousness.
Oh shit! Wait. Leave me here. I was thinking of a silent voice. Completely got.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a silent voice I watched, not your name. They're the same film. You say Shinkai, and I was like, hang about. No, that's the other one.
Yeah, it has something to do with talking, something to do with the vocal cords.
They're very, very much not the same film.
They've both come out within a reasonable period of time of each other, and everyone's loving them.
It is true.
But yeah, ignore everything I just said about that.
I haven't been able to see a silent voice yet because it hasn't come out where I is.
But yeah, I have not seen your name.
I is.
Okay.
I is.
Well then.
Has not come out where I is. Jesus.
Well then, Suin, what did you think of your name?
I fell asleep.
Wow.
Is that just because you never sleep normally?
No, like, so what happened was my friend got 2 free tickets to Your Name for some reason.
Okay.
And she was like, "You want to go watch this?" I'm like, "Sure."
Why not?
Yeah, we were just watching it. And no, I think it was like 8 minutes in, I fell asleep. And like, it wasn't because the movie was actually bad, but it was because I was running on like
Nothing.
50 or so hours of no sleep.
As you normally do.
I'll actually...
And that was like the first time I watched Paprika.
Hey, okay, Paprika's actually good.
And wait, we've just established that you didn't fall asleep because it was bad. But yeah, when I first watched Paprika, I was like, had an all-nighter and I just fell asleep halfway through.
Yeah.
The film is very, very good at trying to make you not fall asleep with the random shit going on.
Thank you, Satoshi Kon.
Yeah, but yeah, Tristan, considering it's your favorite Shinkai movie, what other movies have you seen by him?
Okay, I have seen 5 screenshots per second. I have seen Place Promised in Our What the Fuck. I have seen Voices of a Where the Hell Did You Go? And I've also seen Garden of Words. Garden of Words.
Is
pretty much
all of them?
I think he did like some side projects. Like I think there was like this film about a cat or something that I never saw.
She and Her Cat. Oh, that's a short.
Yeah, or something. But for the vast majority of his films, I'm pretty sure I've seen. So
like, what you mean by your favorite Shinkai movie is like, are you referring to like your favorite Shinkai work as a whole, or just the film?
Mostly as a whole, because it's like I like the story far more than I like most of the other ones. I never really liked the story of either 5 centimeters or Garden of Words. I actually think the Garden of Words was a much better looking film.
No man, that foot fetish.
That one was a lot shorter than the rest, wasn't it? It was like
something
less
like
than
that.
an hour.
Well, Voices of a Distant Star was like basically nothing.
Voices of a Distant Star is like 20 minutes.
Yeah,
it's a reaffirmation that Shinkai should never design characters ever again.
Oh my god, yeah. No, it doesn't. Like, there are parts of Voices of a Distant Star that look okay, but when you actually pause to look at shit, it doesn't look that good. But I actually think...
Well, like, if you consider that it was made by pretty much one person on I think it was like a G4 Power Mac back in the day.
Something like that back in the day, yeah.
Yeah, so, like, from a work standpoint, yeah, it's pretty good, but it doesn't hold up too well today.
Yeah.
Actually, there's something you might... There's a short that he did recently called Dareka no Manazashi.
Okay.
I think you might enjoy that. It's like a 7.5 minute short.
I'll have to see if I can find it.
Like,
that's ages.
Ages, so long. Yeah. But no, it's...
Yeah. Shinkai is someone whose stories never work out in long formats, I found. Like Garden of Words was just enough.
Yeah,
I
which
found.
I would have agreed to up until this point. I'm not sure if it's a part of he didn't write it alone, so it's like maybe like previous works he did the story all on his own, and he actually had an editor this time around saying no, you can't fucking do that. That's stupid and boring. But story wise, I enjoyed Your Name a lot more than any of his previous work. Though I do think that the animation was a little bit not as good, or a little bit less than like Garden of Words or 5 screenshots per second. And he had this like weird affinity in Your Name for opening doors. And it wasn't just like opening doors. It was a specific shot, like they put a pinhole camera like in the bottom right side of a sliding door so that you could see it close in and on the thing.
Yeah, I know exactly which shot you're referring to just from the trailers.
I mean, like they do that like every 5 minutes is one of those shots. It's either like a sliding door in one of their houses, or it's like one of the doors on the transit trains. And I'm just like, really? Do we need all of this? Like,
did they do it with a window as well?
I think there was one with a window. Yeah.
So did they complete?
Did have very long shots of just trains scurrying by, I guess.
Suin, you should know. You saw it.
When she was asleep.
Yeah, like 8 minutes of it, sure.
She enjoyed it through like osmosis or something.
Oh, so wait, so you literally only watched you didn't wake up later. You just watched the first 8 minutes.
Yeah.
And woke up during the credits.
Oh my god, I was pretty much sleeping in the theater, and then it wasn't until like everyone was gone and my friend had to actually poke me in the shoulder, like, get up.
And you're like, well, shit, okay.
You're
like, that was good.
Yeah, it's a brilliant movie.
Yeah, brilliant film. 10 out of 10.
I did something that my what dads do in theaters. They always sleep through the movie, and it's not until you poke them in the shoulder and they have this like really rude awakening. And go, yeah, very good movie.
Yeah.
Even though the credits are rolling. But yeah, Shinkai, mixed bag.
I'm definitely looking forward to seeing it at some stage. I think I missed the chance to see it in the cinema over here, because I think it was because you guys only just got it from what I recall.
Yeah,
but we had it months ago. But I missed the run, I believe.
I was first able to watch it on Wednesday. A lot of Americans got to see it like last Saturday, so they got to see it before we did.
Yeah.
And then they're doing another showing of it for us, but the dubbed version in like a week and a half. Every theater that had the subtitled version is now going to do the dubbed version for a night. I'm probably not going to go see that because on the same night...
You already saw it.
Well, I already saw it, first of all, and then on the very same night in a completely different theater, Crunchyroll's doing that anime movie night thing, and they're showing like a double feature of the Cabaneri films, and I'm probably going to go see that just to see what the hubbub is about. Plus, it's a different theater, a local one that I actually like going to. I had to go to freaking Guelph for Your Name.
What?
Yeah, no, because they were showing, there was one in Waterloo, which is where I would have gone, but that's sold because of where it is, like on the transit line in Waterloo. It's sold out within like 24 hours of the showing being announced. So the next closest one for me was to go to Guelph, which never sold out at all.
Good.
In fact, the entire front 2 rows were empty. But it was just like, yeah, no, I had to drive all the way out to Guelph to see the thing.
See, to me, Guelph sounds like the name of like a weird, like sort of sodden location in a fantasy RPG.
It's kind of like that.
You have now arrived at Guelph.
You've arrived at Guelph. Yeah, no, because
but it's kind of crazy how Your Name tickets sold out of all things, and I don't remember they pushed it too much in terms of promotion.
Well, it's one of those things.
It's sort of one of those things that's been promoted itself, because
it's like, oh, it's this movie that outsold Spirited Away.
It's promoted itself for a while. And
social media.
If you only have one showing, like KW and even Cambridge, because it's like within distance, we're one ass big university town, so you just need a lot of people that watch anime, and they will go to the theater even if they have never heard of the film. All they just be like, yeah, the novelty of watching anime in a theater, it's kind of a bit of a draw here. So I'm not surprised that it's sold out.
It is cool. Like the first time I watched anime in a cinema was
it Evangelion?
We did this. We have this thing over here in London called like the Anime All Nighter that they do once a year, and it's basically like starts around midnight and goes until, well, it starts like a bit earlier than that and then goes until like 6 a.m. or something. They just play loads of films, and I watched the 3 the rebuild films in the cinema that night, and that was really cool. Because like it was cool having seen something that I'd seen a bunch of times before, and I saw the 3 rebuild films and then Wolf Children for the first time.
Oh, you saw Wolf Children in theaters?
Yeah. Only time I've seen Wolf Children
Yeah.
was then in the cinema,
Mm.
and they were also playing what is it, the Perfect Blue. They were playing Perfect Blue afterwards, but at that point it was like
Perfect
5 in the
Blue.
morning, and I was like,
I can't.
I can't stay here. I need to go home. I need to go to sleep.
And especially for something like Perfect Blue, like you can't really. I almost think if you try to watch Perfect Blue when you're like tired and exhausted, it'd almost be the equivalent of trying to watch it on drugs, because you just like don't take it in, and so much shit just comes at you. Because con is like that.
I didn't think that sort of like visceral experience would be
Necessary or
appropriate for that time
No,
of
no.
morning with zero sleep.
But yeah, like it's kind of amazing how anime fans like show that level of dedication, because you don't get that. You don't get that usually with other fandoms.
No, you don't.
And,
Although the kind of salt in the theater before the movie started, like I was hearing from some friends of mine down in the States when they went to go see it, like all the trailers beforehand were all these like really kiddie films and shit, just because they thought that's what the demographic was, and everybody was like getting really pissed off.
oh my god.
But people were pissed off in my theater, not because they were like all this weird shit, but like Cineplex put it in as kind of a Cineplex event, quote quote. So they put all the trailers for the other events, which is all these like art documentaries and theater performances, and like you could just see.
Nice.
Oh, so people like me.
Yeah, and then there were these two guys sitting next to me almost the entire film. I wish they would shut up, but they were basically talking about how they were like, why are we here watching this film when we could be home watching ReZero right now? And I'm like, what?
Oh wow.
Oh, one of those people.
Yeah, and I was like, this is ridiculous.
Oh,
And why
dear.
aren't you at your house watching ReZero? Go the fuck over there and stop.
Yeah, you guys
talking.
paid money for that.
Yeah, especially when one of them was like, oh, I waited like a year for this, and I'm just like, yeah, so why don't you shut the fuck up and watch the damn movie?
Just gets to a very, very like silent, soulful part of the film, and it's just like Ram's best goal. Whoa.
And then the guy beside them goes, "I love Amelia."
And then they have a fight.
But yeah,
Is there
with,
anything else interesting you've seen in the cinema before, anime-wise?
I watched the Madoka films in cinema. I watched. There's something else. Why do I feel like there's something?
Does
else?
Ghost in the Shell count as one?
No. Ghost in the Shell.
I do want to watch that because I thought that would be an interesting thing to talk about, but I don't really like Ghost in the Shell generally.
The live action movie is actually pretty decent. I found.
Talking about the Ghost in the Shell live action film could be its own like podcast discussion in and of itself, and it probably deserves it.
Oh yeah.
What else did I saw a bunch of the Pokemon movies back in the day in the theater. Which is always fun.
Oh, yes. I think that the highlight of my life is when I saw the Digimon movie.
Oh, yeah.
That was like
Holy shit!
there is nothing better.
No, but
than
like
that.
going and seeing like my memories of when the first Pokemon movie came out, like years and years ago, is hilarious because you know how before the Pokemon films they had like those Pokemon mini films. So for the first movie they had like
Pikachu's
Pikachu
Vacation
Vacation and shit. So like you get in there and they fill the theater with all these kids and their parents, and Pikachu's Vacation comes on, and like the disdain from the parents are like, wait, is this the film?
Is this the movie I took my child to?
Is this why we're here? And for the first like 20
Did
minutes,
I raise Billy wrong?
yeah, and like a good number of them left. I was looking at this going like, why are you leaving? The film hasn't started yet, but that's because they probably thought that was the film, and they're like, yeah, no, I'm done, and they just left. So like a third of the theater left.
Man,
and
they didn't get to experience the existentialism that is
yeah,
Mewtwo.
and then like Pikachu's Vacation
and
ended,
tears
and,
bringing Ash back to life. Man.
yeah, and Mewtwo's film started up, and the like sigh of relief that kind of swept through the theater of, oh, this is the film. Yeah, it was very different.
God, I remember when that was playing and I went because they did this thing in my cinema where they like basically chose a random seat in the audience and gave them a pack of Pokemon cards.
Oh god.
And it wasn't me, and I was so fucking salty. I was like, I want that pack of Pokemon cards.
How many years ago was this?
I just think this, I don't know.
And before
when did
you
it
say
come
like
out?
2 months ago
No.
or something.
Why would I have watched Pokemon the first movie in cinemas 2 months ago? If
Funny
I
story,
could have done, I would. I definitely would go see that in the cinema again. But...
It'd be interesting. I'm actually, yeah, I wouldn't mind going to a theater if they did like this Pokemon movie marathon for no reason other than they could. That'd be interesting. Also, because I haven't like watched
I
most
would...
of them. I watched like the first, I think, 4 Pokemon films, and then I just kind of fell out of it. And now there's like 10.
Yeah, I think it's just for the first four I've seen, and they sort of got. I think I enjoyed 3 back in the day when I watched 4.
Third one was which one?
Wait,
Was it the
third was
Entei
Entei and the
one?
Unknown. So the first one was Mewtwo. The second one
was 4 the one with Celebi and that weird sort
The
of.
second one was Lugia and the Legendary Birds. Third one was Entei and the Unknown. The fourth one was Celebi and Time Travel, and I don't fucking know beyond that.
God, I remember watching the fourth one in theaters. Ugh.
Well, 4 had fucking Howl's Moving Castle in it, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
Basically.
Yeah, something like
I
that.
remember watching the fourth one in theaters, and it was around the part where Celebi quote unquote died, and
Nobody dies in Pokemon.
well,
Except Ash's dad.
Well, it doesn't die, but it turns like brownish. Like no, well, like what do you call it? Because I watched it with my parents, and when the movie was finished, and my dad started talking about how Celebi reminded him of an onion sprout, and how when it died, it looked exactly like a rotten onion that he used to toss around with his brothers when he was oh my god, when he was young.
Did your dad kill Celebi?
Oh god.
Man, I'm gonna think of that every time I'm cooking with onions now.
You're killing
I'm just
Celebi.
I'm just severing Celebis into pieces.
No big loss there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I never liked Celebi.
Second movie was the best one though.
Yeah, no, I agree without a doubt. Also because it had the best Pokemon ever in it.
Man, that's really weird because I also think the second one's the best.
Oh man,
And
we actually agree.
We all agree.
Whenever
Holy
I
shit.
say that,
Pokemon 2000, best Pokemon film.
whenever I say that to people, they get really really angry at me. It's like, how could you say that? The first one's obviously the best.
Why do they think the first movie's the
First
best
one
one?
wasn't the best. The first one had that bullshit, oh, everybody's crying to save Ash's life shit.
Yeah, for first one felt more like tugging at the heartstrings.
Yeah, the first one tried the heartstrings thing, and it was like their introduction. The second film was where they got shit right. Pokemon 2000 is the Empire Strikes Back of Pokemon films.
And the third one,
It's just...
God, I remember
no.
I really wanted to watch the
No, because Empire Strikes Back isn't the best Star Wars film. Episode 1 is the best Star Wars film.
I don't know about that, but you can continue to be wrong.
Which one's got Darth Maul and pod racing and Brian Blessed? Exactly. And Liam Neeson
And not Hayden Christensen.
and Watto. Fucking Watto.
Hey, you come to my shop.
Might I also remind you that Jar Jar Binks also
rip
appears.
up my store.
Jar Jar Binks is a war hero.
Oh god. Wait, wasn't there a rumor pretty much confirming that Jar Jar Binks was supposed to be a Sith Lord?
Nothing confirmed.
I think that was more of a less of a rumor and more of a meme.
It was a meme.
Are you familiar with memes?
Here come that boy.
It was just kind of this funny thing because he he quote unquote killed the prequels, so obviously he was a Sith Lord in disguise. Yeah, I don't know.
I'd buy it.
Yeah, no, I'd buy it.
I'd buy him being Snoke any day.
Have you heard the story of Darth Plagueis the Wise?
Are you still fucking salty over The Force Awakens?
I'm not salty over it. I just didn't like it very much.
It was.
Did you watch the trailer for the new one?
No, I didn't.
It was
Playing
not much of a
behind.
trailer, more of a hey, remember Star Wars? Yeah, that's gonna be a thing.
I remember
It's
Luke.
like, we're
like 8
training on an
months.
island. We.
Luke's there. It's great.
Anyway.
Hey, look at the back shot of Princess Leia. Everybody remembers Princess Leia, right? Because Carrie Fisher's gone.
Oh, too soon. 6 feet under, literally. Oh god, I'm gonna get lynched for that comment. It's all right.
Yeah, I do miss Carrie Fisher. Though.
Anyway, that's not anime. Have you kids started anything else from this?
This
season?
season I started watching. I'm caught up on My Hero because I caught up this morning right before we started talking.
Mhm.
I've seen the first episode of Titan though. I haven't watched the other 2 yet. I'm caught up on Sakura Quest as well, and I'm pretty sure I'm caught up on Alice to Zoroku. I'm not sure if a new episode came out in the last couple of days. I can't remember what day of the week that one comes out in. So those are the ones I'm currently following, and there are a couple other I need to get to.
Sweet.
Actually,
I started Titan.
Yeah,
And,
how did you feel about the new Titan episode?
Oh man, like it's really you know I was saying earlier about like how much I enjoy Boruto, and I think it's mainly for like nostalgia reasons.
Yeah.
I'm watching Titan, and when Titan first started, I wasn't really part of the like hype train for it. Like I enjoyed it, but I never sort of got into it as much as a lot of people.
Yeah, no,
did.
I'm kind of the same
But
way.
start watching I wasn't expecting to enjoy season 2 at all, really. And I just started it, and I just get this sort of weird feeling of like about just the time when Titan aired, because that was like it was four fucking years ago at this point. That was when I'd sort of first started like having an online presence regarding to anime and stuff, and I sort of just remembered what it was like to like be in that time period, and just sort of have this fond memory of a very specific time of my life, just based on the fact that I'm watching Titan again, and just thinking about how much things have changed since then, and just generally I am quite enjoying it just for what's happening in it, because I just like,
Really?
I don't know, I just not really caring anymore, and just like letting it do what it needs to do.
See, like with me, I watched it and then I got the feeling of, okay, this is Titan. The characters are there. Like the music is still there. Everything is there. It's just that I never got that hyped feeling from Titan. I don't know if it's because I'm a little bit older, but kind of like the magic feel of Titan. Like how do I say it? It's like the Tetsuraki thing where he knows how to make things hype in the most mundane of situations. That magic is completely gone.
I think for me, it's more so like when...
But I guess that's to be expected because he's not directing it anymore. But...
When the first Titan came out, I think part of the reason that the hype was there, for me at least, is because it was kind of showing and doing things that we never really had in too many other places at the time, like back in 2013 when it came out. But like since, we've had so many shows try to fill in that void to a point that it just kind of feels like if this show came out in 2015 or even 2016, or maybe not 2015, like earlier, like only a year or so after the original show, I think I probably would have been a lot more hype for it. But because it's been so long, and it's just like, hey, here's all the shit that you saw in 2013. We're just continuing it, but it's only 13 episodes.
Yeah,
so...
people have kind of just forgotten about it. I'm not really feeling like the big boom
that was there
that you would expect
like
on a show like this, because it has just sort of petered off.
Yeah, no, like I've been trying to pay attention to like where the hype currently is for a good chunk of the anime fandom. I'm not perfect with it, but I actually feel like My Hero Academia has a lot more hype behind it currently than Titan.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, it's more relevant right now.
because its first season only ended
because it was only what, last year?
Less than a year ago, because it was going this season last year. So it's only been like 3/4 of the year since we finished off the first season of My Hero Academia, on top of which we have been told that season 2 is going to be a double core, unlike first season that was just 13 episodes. So that's a bit more hype as well, because you're like, well, we're just going to have a lot fucking more of it now, aren't we? So, and then there's that. So yeah.
Thing is, I talked to one of my casual friends recently, and
were they filthy?
He didn't know. Yeah, he's a pretty filthy one. He didn't know there was a second season until I had to tell him.
For Titan?
Like, he should have known this because he actually liked Titan.
Oh.
And he got into the fandom, and then
when did he start watching anime?
He was like off and on, like a pretty casual guy.
So probably in around the 2013 area, but only like popping in on a couple of shows that piqued his interest.
That's one thing I'm thinking about season 2 is that 4 years. How many people during those 4 years weren't even watching anime when Titan first started airing? And that's kind of sort of baffling to me, that there's like going to be a whole new generation of anime fans who will have started watching since then, who would have like been in the first thing where the first actual big boom anime for them was something like ReZero.
Yeah.
And so season 2 of Attack on Titan's airing, and maybe they don't even know what Attack on Titan is at this point.
I wouldn't say Attack on Titan they wouldn't know.
Granted, like the big anime boom from 2013 because of things like Titan and SAO is still pretty big, and there are a lot of them still there. But you are right in that all the anime fans that have kind of joined the fandom since then, in the last like 4 years, and that is a fairly long time. Like they might not know. Like they probably, I would suspect a good chunk of them went back. Because if people want to talk about like what are the best anime from like the last 5 or 6 years, Titan will probably come up somewhere in conversation. I wouldn't doubt that. So they might have gone back and watched it. They might not have. There's no guarantee of it. But like if you try and compare that with My Hero Academia right now, well, that only came out last year. So anybody that came in to anime, like if you have anime watchers that started like a year ago and they wanted to start with like the latest and greatest thing, chances are they watched My Hero Academia because it was one of the most accessible.
One thing I've noticed, like in discussions, is people like My Hero Academia. People can talk about it for just forever, and with Titan, they just pretty much finish off the conversation just like one or two couple lines.
Well, I think
he's like, oh yeah, how did? Or at least that's from my observations.
I think the content kind of is like that as well, because you can talk about My Hero Academia to such an extent without reaching like the sort of barrier of spoilers. There's so much that happens in Titan that like you can't talk about because of all the shit that happens in the manga that they haven't adapted yet. But in My Hero Academia, we don't need to fucking know about what happens in the story and plot lines to actually talk about it legitimately, because you can just sit there and you can talk about all the individual characters and their quirks, because there's a fuck ton of characters that barely get any screen time that hopefully get a bit more screen time as the show goes on. But you can just sit there and have full conversations about that alone and not have to worry about like pissing somebody off because of spoilers, or even just getting to spoilers that somebody might not have seen and have no input on.
Big thing. Okay,
it sounds to me like there's just a lot more room there for fan base investment, because I mean Titan is sort of a thing where you someone who is very passionate about the series will just very much enjoy the series, but there isn't very much more to the Titan, I guess, franchise. If like you're not going to be having these like debates about characters and things like that a lot of the time beyond just like what goes on in the manga.
No, because there's really only 3 characters in Titan that people talk about mostly, besides like the Titans as a general concept, which is just like Eren, Armin, and Mikasa. That's about it. But like if you talk about My Hero Academia, you could pick fucking anyone.
I don't know. Levi is generally more popular than a lot of them.
Yeah, Levi. There's Potato Girl. You underestimate.
I underestimate Potato Girl. Yeah, sure.
She had a pretty good moment in episode 3.
There's a bunch of side characters that got a lot of significance.
But... And I underestimate Scientist Androgynous. Yes, I know. And Levi and a bunch of other people that I'm sure have very dedicated fan bases. That's just true. But
I think it's safe to say that a lot of the passion within the Titan fan base has kind of fizzled out.
Yeah.
And it has been pretty much replaced by stuff like My Hero Academia, for instance.
Could be.
At least for this season.
And I actually feel like Titan would have done a lot better if it wasn't currently fighting like with My Hero Academia. Not only is it fighting because they're both airing in the same season, but they're airing on the same day. Like, that's...
And they're both shonen as well.
And they're both shonen.
So they're vying for the same demographic. The
same demographic, except Titan's a lot more quote-unquote mature, because there's a lot more graphic violence in it than My Hero will ever have. It would have done a lot better if they weren't competing. Like, if Titan Season 2 came out instead of, like, Cabaneri last year, I think it might have been received a lot better.
Actually, do you think Cabaneri might help the hype or kind of lessen it? Because I think it lessened it.
Well, it depends. I don't know many people that are still talking about Cabaneri. Like, the films are coming out, and maybe that might change some shit. But, like, Cabaneri was really big for the first couple episodes because a lot of people were like, holy shit, this is so hype. And except for the people that were like, this is garbage because it's just Titan on trains. It depends on which camp you were in.
Well, because I know a lot of Titan fans watched Cabaneri because it was like, oh, I'm getting my Titan fix.
Yeah, it was kind of their Titan fix.
That I wanted for this many long. And they found out that they had this absolutely garbage story that teetered off towards the second half. And I think that kind of poisoned the well for them a little bit.
Yeah, like Cabaneri was so fucking good in the first half. It was so fucking good that so many people were like, yeah, no, this is my Titan fix. And then it just betrayed them so heavily. Or at least it betrayed me. Maybe some people actually fucking like the second half of Cabaneri. I think they're crazy. But, you know, go ahead and like what you like, I guess.
Crazy.
If you like Biba as a character, which, if you do... Well, more power to you, but
is this that villain that
Biba's
everyone hates?
his only redeeming trait is that he was voiced by Mamoru Miyano, but that's not enough to save him.
Mamo voices everyone, though.
It's true, but he usually does it well. That is why I'll give him credit and credence.
That's true.
Like if he makes characters so fucking amazing sometimes. Fucking JJ. And that prince asshole from Naka.
No. We're not getting into that.
We're not bringing up your
No.
Like even fucking Persona 5. Like I remember because I didn't turn on the Japanese voices, but I was talking to my friend about it when I was playing it, and I was like, hey, this character looks like Light Yagami. I wonder if he's voiced by Mamoru Miyano in the Japanese, and then he's just like, nah, no. Mamoru Miyano voices the shitty blonde guy, and I'm like, what? But yeah,
he's all over like every JRPG now as
he's
well.
Too fabulous.
He was in Final Fantasy 15.
Wasn't he Prompto?
Yeah,
was
I
he
think
Prompto?
he's Prompto.
I don't think he was Prompto. I think he was he?
No. Was he Prompto or was he the guy with the glasses?
He's one of the guys in their boy harem, their reverse harem of pretty boys.
Because I know Noctis is voiced by the guy that voices Makoto in 3. And then
So Sasuke.
so it's basically like 2 of the 4 were voiced by 3 people.
Well, Mamo does have a very, very, very dedicated female fan base in his home country.
He does. And he doesn't do bad work.
He does.
I will give him that.
Oh, no.
There are so many of his roles that I look back at and I'm just like, holy shit. Yeah, no, you're doing good shit. Like I finally have been sitting down recently and I've been playing through Steins Gate 0 and I'm just like, God damn it, Mamoru, you're so good. Fuck. Fuck,
I'm
I
so
miss this.
good. Son of a bitch.
You son of a bitch.
Yeah, there's a lot of voice actors that are definitely that are definitely very good, but I just hear them far too often to the point where I'm just like, this is like there was a point last year, like towards the end of last year, where I had to watch sort of a selection of shows from a season. And I had to just watch all these shows, like a couple of episodes of each, one after the other. And a couple of voice actors were just in like every one of these shows, like most of them as the protagonist.
Like Yuichi Nakamura.
And I was just like, come on, like this is so... People complain about dubs having the same voice actors over and over again. And it's just like, it sort of ruins the immersion when I hear the same voice in a show voicing a different character immediately after from the same season.
No, when they double up in the same season, I find that kind of weird. I don't mind it too much when they double up and I'm just happen to be watching 2 shows for multiple seasons back to back. That's my own problem. But when they have like multiple large roles in the same season, I find that kind of jarring occasionally. I don't mind it if like you're a main character in one show and you're like some secondary side characters in other shows. That's fine. But you got to eat somehow.
Yeah, but usually the people you notice are ones who always get typecasted as the main guy.
Yeah.
Like Hiroshi Kamiya, for instance. Oh god, that man is everywhere.
Is that the Kirito guy?
No, he's Araragi.
Okay, because the Kirito guy is...
He's in everything, and he's always the same character, basically.
He's in everything. He's in, what is it, Eromanga Sensei this season.
Yeah, he's in Shokugeki no Soma.
I need to get to Eromanga Sensei.
He's just every protagonist. Eromanga Sensei is like, I was watching it, and I was like, anime hasn't changed since I stopped watching anime.
Is that the Orimo...
Kind of.
It's a bit like Grimm. It's like this guy is a light novel author, and his little sister
can't be this cute.
Is like she was doing like fan art and stuff. But
speaking of light novels,
and she was like a really good artist that had worked for him at some point, and then he discovers that his sister's this artist, and it was just... Speaking
of light novels, I was looking into the longest light novel title.
Oh my god!
For research purposes. And I believe the winner was the guy who wrote Kino's Journey.
Okay.
I forgot his... Okay, let me just quickly look it up.
Fucking Kino's Journey's coming back.
Oh yeah.
I know. I'm so stoked, man. I fucking love Kino.
I love how I read Kino's Journey on Google and the first result is Kiss Anime.
Fuck Kiss Anime.
Of course it is.
What's it called? Oh god, we got a mouthful with this one.
Do we need another hour of recording time?
Probably.
Was it Kino's Journey?
Though we shouldn't go that much longer.
I'm pretty sure we're at least over 50 minutes.
Yep, we are. We're at 56 by my.
Well, whilst you're looking for that, what do you think of Sakura Quest then?
I really like Sakura Quest, but it's the kind of show that I like. It's one of those ones that I'm just like, I'm really hyped for it. I've been enjoying the fuck out of it. I hate when every episode ends because I gotta wait for another week. But I look at it and I know not a lot of other people will enjoy it the same way I do.
Is it PA Works?
Yes, it is PA Works.
It
has the PA Works same pace thing.
So I watched the first episode and it's like it had all the character designs that just looked like they were from Shirobako.
Yeah. So if you like Shirobako and you like Tanasaka Iraha, you'll probably like this. But if you didn't like either of those... I did
enjoy the first episode, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna... I'll probably pick it up again at some point, but...
Oh, found it. Okay, get ready for this, guys.
So what's the longest title?
Okay, get ready for this. Okay, so the English title is I'm a high school boy and a successful light novel author, but I'm being strangled by a female classmate who's a voice actress and is younger than me. The Japanese is... Oh my god, this is a mouthful.
Say it in Korean.
男子高校生で売れっ子ライトノベル作家をしてるけれど、年下のクラスメイト声優の女の子に首を絞められている。
Why? Okay, so what did they shorten it to? Because most of these long titles have a fucking shortened thing.
I don't know.
They will always have something little in there.
What's it called?
I don't know.
if it gets an anime, it'll have an official hashtag that's shorter or something.
I don't know. Like it can't be like Danshi. I don't know.
Like, does anyone actually know what the full title of Konosuba is?
Isn't it just like
It's Konosubarashi something.
この素晴らしい世界に修復を I think.
something like that? Yeah.
Konosubarashi no Sekai Shippuden.
この素晴らしい Aqua's revenge.
Fuck Aqua so much.
Yeah, like novel names. Those are a thing.
Yeah.
Hopefully the trend is dying out. But
We should write a light novel and try and beat them.
I'll write a light novel.
The name of the novel is the first chapter, and then the first chapter's on the front page.
yeah, I think around this time we have more than enough material.
We've kind of exhausted ourselves for today.
Yeah.
But I will say this, and this is something I want to do. So at the very start, we had this big talk about Boruto, and I said that I was probably going to watch it. If we do have a next time, then we're going to come back, and I will have seen Boruto, and we can briefly revisit that topic, and I can be like, okay, I'm probably going to make a video on this, but hey, here's some rough previews and shit.
Sweet.
I'm gonna make you do an FR of Boruto, and it's gonna be the greatest thing of all time.
FR of Boruto. Oh, God. And then I'll get a dumpster, and then I'll take my DVD of season 1 of Naruto, and I'll just burn it.
By the way, salad.
It's sitting on my I have the first entire season of Naruto, the original Naruto.
Believe it.
What's the first season? Where does the first season get up to? Does that take you to the end of the Zabuza stuff?
I don't know. I never finished watching it. I got it for footage a bunch of years ago because me and Prof 7 or 8 years ago when we met up at Anime Central one time, we did this crossover video and I needed footage because we were joke reviewing Naruto. So I bought the series for $20 in the dealer's room and I just have it now. It's just a thing that I have.
Fucking every Naruto game, when you click on something, it has that sound effect, and it's the most obnoxious thing. Yo! Every time you do anything, it makes that noise.
Yo! Datemayo!
Anyway, send us off. Send us off, Tristan.
All right, this has been whatever the fuck this is under a blanket. I'm Arcada from Glass Reflection. Stay frosty. Yeah, fine. Glass Reflections. We're reflecting all of the glass. Real fake glass here. We're selling real fake glass. You can reflect all your shit through it. It looks great.
Definitely not opaque.
Oh, speaking of that, there's a YouTube video called I Sort Glass. Anyone's watching this, go check it out. It's a good video.
Go check that out. It's good video.
I'm Alan. You can follow me on Twitter. You can follow me on Twitter at @BakaShift. And until next time, stay alive. Because
because Alan's been dead
it's a prerequisite for listening to the next episode.
I'm Suin, and I recently got blocked by Yamakon on Twitter.
Nice.
So yeah, it's not that hard to trigger him apparently. But...
And until whenever the fucking thing we're gonna do next time, if we do, I don't fucking know. Stay gold.
Slaters, stay Boruto. Yo!
That's fucking gay.